What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
You should be fine for Pints and Pit Stops if you watch 30 minutes.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna.
No, you should be fine.
I'm gonna bottle it pretty bad.
That was a good race, though.
That was a good race. I enjoyed the highlights. It did not feel like 30 minutes, those highlights.
I just talked about here, and now it looked wacko.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 110?
No,
111? 111?
111. One-on-one.
111. Make a wish. Of the Underground Circuit podcast. I didn't start my recording thing. If you are new here, if you are a new listener, we first of all thank you for joining us. We appreciate it and coming to hang out and chill with us as we talk about F1 and IndyCar tonight. Like I said, if you're new here, I'm losing my train of thought. This is going to be bad. Please make sure to go follow us over on Instagram and Threads at Underground Circuit _ over on Twitter/X at UG Circuit Pod, and over on TikTok at Underground_Circuit. The names of our social medias are spelled the exact same way that the name of the show is spelled. So we kept it easy for you guys, made it just one for one. So go follow us over there. If you're watching on video, they're also scrolling at the bottom, makes it easier, a little bit easier to pick apart.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to be talking a lot, a very chaotic Spanish GP, and a very also chaotic Detroit GP for IndyCar. So I did not watch the full IndyCar race. I watched the highlights, but we watched Spain. We watched the full Spain race, and it was fucking absurd.
It did not disappoint.
No, it did not disappoint. But before that, as always, we will do our weekly news, our memes of the week.
Which there is none. You didn't run it.
I can run it?
You didn't run the weekly news thing, so I didn't see anything. But I don't think there's really been weekly news.
Oh, I didn't run the weekly news thing. That's sorry. We were recording this on a Monday.
The next few weeks we're recording on Monday.
Yeah, literally, we're doing a triple header of our own.
Yeah,
with Monday recordings. But yes, we will jump right into it. Meme of the week. Start us off. I can start us off.
Wait, you said our Instagram or like socials. We have to, you know how we post the calendars for each month. We have to add the rally calendars. If you look at the TikTok I posted for the month of June for all the events. Well, first of all, I missed 2 24-hour races because there's also more than one 24-hour race, so I missed 2 of them. People are pissed that we didn't include rally, so we need to add rally.
All right. We're gonna be adding rally then.
Being like, "Where's rally? Where's rally?" Because that post kind of blew up. Like, I'm not even joking, blew up. But yes,
check that right now.
No, it blew up a lot. Every time I go on, I'm scared to see the comments because people will be yelling at me first about not having the rally.
Motorsport events in June. Wow! Holy crap! Yeah.
Told you. The people were yelling at me first for not including 24 hours of spa and stuff, and then for a rally.
Yes.
Which I wish you could pin a comment, because then I just commented like when they were.
I see that right now, yeah.
But you can't pin a comment, but yes. Meme of the week.
What is BTCC?
You want to go first?
BTCC.
Do you have a TV on?
I do not. I hear music.
Yeah, so do I. Is there someone outside?
There might be. I can shut the window.
No, it's fine. It's not like it's loud. All of a sudden I was like, what the hell? What's happening? Okay. You're going first, meme of the week?
Yeah, I'll go first because mine's pretty straightforward. So if there's this photo surfaces every single time a race completes, and essentially it's this photo of Lewis. I can't really pick out what track it is. It's in the bottom right-hand corner, and I can't really tell.
Oh,
But
I can tell you.
they edit it every race to say, like, this race was shit or, like, this race was good and everything. The quote for this week is just, what the fuck? Because that was the end of the race, essentially.
Quite literally.
Classic Owen memes. It got a giggle out of me. So I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Got a giggle.
I thought it was super, super easy to write or use. So.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what track is that?
I do not know.
Oh, wait, right here.
How do I stop sharing my screen?
I can do it.
I got it.
It's Hungary.
It's Hungary. Okay.
I could have added, my meme of the week is not this, but I could say this right now. George's radio at the end when him and Max touched, and he was like, "What the hell? What the fuck was that?" And he was like, "I don't know." That one is also like, "What the hell was the last 10 laps of that race?"
Yeah, that was nuts. The last 10 laps of that race.
Yeah. But yes, my meme of the week. Speaking of Max and George, when they showed the cooldown room was actually might be one of my favorite cooldown rooms of this season because it was obviously the three of them, Charles, Oscar, Lando, yapping away. But they show the contact with Charles and Max. And they're like, "Oh, you touched?" And Charles goes, "Yeah, right here." And he goes, boom. Literally like to show when they hit. But then it goes to Max and George. And this is obviously the moment of Max and George. But Lando's face is literally like, what are we watching?
Because you know what that is too?
And
just like everybody else watching this was they could tell right away that it was 100% deliberate. And it was like, oh, he did that.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. But I thought that one was so funny because like each one of their faces is something different. Charles is probably like, "Yeah, that's Max. Like that's like the Max I know."
That happened.
But yeah. So that was meme of the week. Like we said, there's really no weekly news. This one we'll try to not make it a longer episode, but we can spend more time talking about Spain and Detroit because each one was decently good. What Pints Pit Stops? Do you want to do it like last week, where we do one, then talk about one, then we do the other one?
Yes.
Talk about the other one?
Yes.
We started with the 500 last week, so do you want to start with Spain?
We can start with Spain this week.
Oh, no, that means I have to go first.
That means you have to go first. Let me pull up my questions while I do that.
You also have a pint. I
do have a pint as well. Sorry, I'm doing like 20 things at the same time.
Oh, I should have worn my... I don't feel like going to get it. My Charles hat.
Oh, yes. All right, so Pints and Pit Stops. I will be quizzing Casey. My pint with me today is the 24/7 Hazy Session India Pale Ale, or IPA, from New Trail Brewing. I admittedly have had this before. Forget why I bought this case. Forget what I bought this for, but I've had this for like a week or two now, and I knew that I would use it for Pints and Pit Stops. Very good. It's not that much alcohol too. It's like 4.72%. So we'll do a little crack.
Oh, that might be your best one yet.
Delicious. Some might say delicioso.
Delicioso. Okay, Dora.
Some might say. There's some being Dora. All right, so Spain GP. 5 questions, Casey. As quick as you can possibly answer them. I will give you a hint.
I'm tired. I'm scared.
I will give you a hint. They are all from safety car and on.
Okay,
there are 5 questions here from safety car onwards.
Okay.
With albeit the first one, but the first one is like pretty much in there. So
okay.
As always, I will read the first question before I start the timer.
I am tired today, so I feel like I'm gonna be slow.
No, I think you'll be fine. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
So potential record-setting time attempt right here.
No, because I was good last week. So don't say that.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How did Kimi cause a safety car?
He lost. Did he lose the rear and he ended up in the gravel?
What tire did Max start on after the safety car?
The hards.
Who double stacked during the safety car?
McLaren.
Who did Hulkenberg pass on the second to last lap?
Lewis Hamilton.
What position did Max end in after his penalty?
P10.
All right,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Pretty good. 2183.
I think I'm wrong on the first one. I can't fully remember. I just know he ended up in the gravel.
So Kimi did end up in the gravel. He did not lose the rears though. He lost his power unit.
Oh,
so the power unit gave out. He ended off on the track. I had two answers there. I was really hoping that you were gonna give me the second part of it, because I had power unit failed and also just pulled off. So I was like, yeah. So that's that one. That's your only wrong answer.
I'll go 4 for 5. Yeah, I was good with the rest. You can tell.
So what tire did Max start on after the safety car? He did start on the hard tires. That I think is the clearest Max radio I've heard in a very long time, where he's just like,
no, in a very long time.
What? Why are we on the? Pretty funny.
Yeah, he didn't get it.
Who double stacked during the safety car? McLaren. We'll get into that later. Who did Hulkenberg pass on the second to last lap? He did in fact pass Lewis Hamilton. And what position did Max end in after his penalty? It was 10th place. So your gross time was a 21:83. And you got 4 questions right.
1 wrong.
And 1 wrong. So that will bring you to a 1883? Yes.
I was going to say, not 28.
Sorry. Did the math wrong.
Nothing's going to beat my time from last week. I was so good at my time last week.
Yes. Your fastest time remains a 15:43.
Yeah.
And your average time is now a 22:33.
Yeah. So I think last week I was like right at 20 seconds for them all. And then I got all 5 right, so I went down.
Yeah, your gross time last week was 20:43.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and you went 5 for 0.
That's like a full pit stop when they come in, change, and keep going.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yes. Spain, but our race recaps are brought to you by, because I see you wearing the shirt, so.
Yes, thank you for this. I was really excited to talk about this today. Both of our race recaps, so Spain and Detroit today, are brought to you by Furious Motorsport. They are the best motorsport apparel company in the business right now. They are wonderful. I am currently rocking my Suzuka, King of Suzuka t-shirt. I'll try to stand, see if we can do this pretty easily.
Don't go the other way. That was good.
So this is the King of Suzuka shirt. Obviously, I hope you guys saw it. It's Michael Schumacher on the back. It's an amazing shirt. I love it. The quality feels so nice. I cannot wait. I'm wearing this to a very cool thing that we're doing tomorrow on Tuesday, June 3rd. I am so excited for it, and I'm so excited just to show it off and just like wear it out in public, because I'm really hoping that people notice it and it's an eye catcher and everything. And their jerseys are already eye catchers when I'm wearing the jerseys. Like I said, I've gotten compliments on my Lando jersey. I've gotten compliments on my Verstappen baseball jersey. Like, it is an eye-catching apparel company, and they're wonderful. The quality is great. Please make sure, if you go to the link in our bios on our social medias, you can navigate through there, go to our 10% off link. You guys can use that, shop around, and then because you used our link, it just applies a 10% discount for you. So it makes it super easy. If for whatever reason you don't use the link, make sure to use the code UNDERGROUND10. That is spelled the exact same way as the name of the show. So go over, use that code, use our link. Go check out their stuff. They have such cool stuff. I really, really want a bathing suit for this summer.
You do really want a bathing suit.
So I'm very excited. Like I said, I'm thrilled that I have this. I can't wait. I might order another shirt too. I'm very excited about it just because I love this. I got this the other day and I didn't put it on. This is the first time I'm wearing it. And as soon as I put it on, it was like, the feeling you just get when it's like you put on a shirt or some clothes and you're like, this just feels right.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Like, it's wonderful. So, like I said, go check them out. Furious Motorsport jerseys. use the code Underground10 or use a link in our social media bios to get that 10% off just automatically applied to the order.
Wait, can you speak real fast?
Hello.
Okay, now you're good. It like was funny at the end. But yes, Spain triple header is done. Honestly,
Triple header is done.
thank God. That was a insane triple header.
Yeah, I don't know if that just felt like a really long triple header because of. I honestly want to feel like it's because of the Indy 500.
Yeah, because it
And
was also intense with IndyCar as well going on.
yeah,
So
and it
like,
was IndyCar and it was Monaco.
it's just nonstop. And we had a
Yeah,
crazy
so
Imola, crazy Spain.
right. So I definitely think that played into it a bit. But yes, we are done the triple header. We have a week reprieve before we go to Montreal. Casey's very excited. She's got into that. And I gotta say, I love this race. I don't
So
think
did
that's a
I.
hot take. I don't think that's gonna be startling to anybody to say that, but I love this race. I thought it
No,
was
from start to finish, it was good.
yeah. You had
From a lot of different people also. A lot of
right.
different drivers.
Yeah. I mean, you had off the rip, you had Charles get off the line, and he's
I've
3 wide
rewatched
with
that.
Lewis.
I watched that race start. Someone on TikTok posted his onboard, and I posted on Threads. It's so good, like because when they had the actual race start and they showed the overhead, I wasn't really looking back because I was paying attention to the front. And then when they do the replay, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, Charles literally went through the middle.
He went up the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. You like I said, you had him going 3 wide with Lewis and George, I think who was it, or maybe it was
On
Kimmy.
the start.
I think it was a Mercedes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I can look at the video.
But Fernando Alonso was on a different
Yeah.
planet this weekend. He was he really I want to talk about this for a little bit.
Finally in
Say
the
what
points.
you will. Yes, finally in the points. Say what you will about the man and how this season has just been an absolute struggle for him, and it absolutely has. And Aston Martin got kind of slapped because Lance Stroll had to withdraw from the race this past weekend. Fernando put on a show. He put on a show for his home crowd. I mean, he had
he really
first lap overtake of I think Isaac Hadjar, like right off the rip. And even I think DC said it on the broadcast. He was like, "You never see anybody really overtake in that area of the track." So the fact that Alonso's doing it, like, he's like, "Damn, okay." Like, yeah, he was on
it from FP1 on. Like he was he had a good weekend, Fernando Alonso, and that Aston Martin did look good, but yeah, I mean you talked about him, you just mentioned him, so I feel like we can talk about it now. Obviously, news broke post-quali that Lance Stroll was pulling out of the race because he's been dealing with wrist issues, the hand that he had broken last year at the beginning of the season. I do agree. I think he came back way too quick last time and continued on. And now he's having, basically they made it say since like he's having a procedure. So I don't know what that means it's going to happen, but I feel like they're maybe going to like clean stuff up and whatever. But do you even risk him coming back for his home race in Canada?
I don't. That is tough because to me, I agree with you. I think last year when he had his accident and he came back, a week later,
literally
a week and a half later, he's driving that car in Bahrain.
Yeah, because we saw him not even be able to get out of the car by himself the one time.
I think that was you brought him back way too soon. Now, I will also commend Lance for being an athlete and soldiering on and being like, you know what, no, I'm driving. He definitely played a part in that decision. It wasn't like it was, Lawrence Stroll being like, you have to get in this car right now. That's not what we're saying. But I think it definitely was a little bit too soon. And now you're kind of paying for that if it is complications from his surgery and everything. So
and like they couldn't, obviously, because he pulled out after qualifying. So if he was truly having issues the entire weekend, they could have pulled him out earlier and put a reserve in. We could have probably seen Felipe Drogovic in there, but because it was post quali, he wasn't allowed to.
You can't
so
swap him in,
No, you can't swap him in. So then it also brings up, if he can't race in Canada, it's 24 hours of Le Mans. Felipe Drugovich drives in 24 hours of Le Mans. So could we see Valtteri Bottas? Because he's like the extra one, technically,
I
for
mean,
McLaren and Aston, I think.
I don't know, because if you do, let's say Lance doesn't race in Canada, right? And you call in Felipe.
Well, no, he's driving in 24-hour Le Mans, so you can call in Felipe.
Yeah, but it depends, like, on his contract,
already-
like, what has priority.
Probably
Or
24 hours Le Mans, because that's his, like, main seat.
True, yeah.
And I don't think you want to miss 24 hours of Le Mans for the Canadian Grand Prix. No offense, but...
No, yeah, if it was like Monaco or something, like,
Yeah.
it would be a bigger question. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we could see Valtteri, or do they just run...
Oh! So I can see Valtteri and Bottas in the car.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Or
Or do
go
they just
no
run one driver again?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, listen, I thought of this the moment that I saw the news come out and everything. Like, I know I love to, like, tease and shit on Lance a little bit, but...
Well,
it sucks when that happens, and it sucks that if he is going through something like this with his injuries and whatnot, that it has affected him to the point where he's like, I can't
Yeah.
drive, so it sucks to see that happen,
Did you see the BBC article?
Mm-mm.
This might have changed your mind a little bit. So the BBC article, which is written by
Don't do this.
Andrew Benson, who clearly is very reliable, respected source.
Yes.
The article literally starts off with, Aston Martin
no.
driver Lance Stroll missed the Spanish Grand Prix with injury in the aftermath of losing his temper in the team's garage. The Canadian is said by sources to have damaged equipment in the garage and sworn at team members after being eliminated at the end of the second qualifying session, in which he was 0.535 seconds slower than teammate Fernando Alonso. They asked Stroll... They asked someone to confirm if Stroll had lost his temper in that way, and an Aston Martin spokesperson said Lance was upset. Spokesperson said the injury and the episode in the garage were unrelated. And then sources later said that nothing was broken or that he swore. But, I mean, then obviously it said it came out that he was experiencing pain in his hand and his wrist. But I don't think the BBC would be posting this article if it was, like, hearsay in the paddock.
Yeah, I mean... Yes, Aston Martin is not just going to come out in the open and be like, "Yep,
Yes,
Lance
he
got
broke
super pissed off. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was, broke equipment." They're not going to do that. You're never going to get a clear answer.
Because
on
once
them
again,
in
we
that.
saw last year when he had that moment in the garage, they didn't really bring it up.
Yeah.
When he, like, kind of went after his trainer for the split second, but
Yeah. I mean, God, I don't want to, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because it's like, it is
So
like
do I.
hearsay a little bit. So it's like, yeah, I still think if he is hurt, he's hurt. He's hurt. That's it. But if that is true, something needs to be done, because that is unacceptable, because now you've allowed your emotions to get the better of you, which it happens to everybody. It's fine. It happened to another person in this race that we'll get to. And
I'll say too.
Yeah, I could see the gears going there for a second.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
If that happens, and now you've let your emotions get to you a little bit, and now you've lost points whatsoever entirely in this race. So yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah.
If that's true.
Yeah. But yes. Moving on, I feel like we have to talk about Williams, just because the last few weeks we've been singing their praises. This was not a race for them. I mean, they came in pretty much dead serious, being like, this is not going to be our weekend because there are so many long turns in Spain, and they're not their best. It's not the best for them, but I mean, you have Alex, who immediately gets contacted in the beginning, needs his front wing changed. Carlos then needs his front wing changed, like, literally a few laps later. Yeah. And then Alex and Liam Lawson make contact and just, shred Alex's second front wing completely up, and he has to retire. And Carlos ended not in the points. Carlos was lapped by quite a few drivers.
Yeah.
Which sucks to see for Carlos, because, he had that huge grandstand. It's also his home race, so with a new team, he definitely wanted to perform better. But yeah, it was not Williams' weekend at all.
No, and it does suck because it's like it sucks. I will say this sucks for Carlos because you're right. Like he had that big grandstand. It's his home race and everything, and then he scored points in Barcelona for how many consecutive years?
Yeah,
like
the first time ever.
Yeah, so it's having that, and then also the other part that sucks about it too is like everybody was like, yeah, Williams kind of knew that coming into this weekend it wasn't going to be their weekend. And it's like, just sucks for Carlos, like in that moment, because it's like, I just want to continue this. I just want to perform in front of my home crowd. And it's like, my team's already coming in and being like, we can't really perform here, and that's a sport, it is what it is. And that's the team that you're with, but it's tough. But yeah, I mean, that definitely was not Williams' weekend. I do think they can bounce back from it.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they've shown enough this year that this wasn't just like a random one-off.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't like, hey, we randomly did well and that was it. And that was a great race. And now we go back to, P15, P17, stuff like that.
No, they've been consistently well. I mean, they said when Alex retired, what they say, it's like only the second race of the season where he's not scored points. Like, that just, I mean, and last year we were like, is Alex Albon going to score points? So, like, it's just.
Right.
Like, the difference is pretty. No, I think they'll bounce back as well. I completely agree.
Another low field team that I talked about during Pints and Pit Stops, Stake.
Yeah, and I was just looking because Bortoleto finished in 12th. Like, he was also very close to the point.
He was up there. Whatever Stake did this weekend was the right
Hulk
thing.
was on a tear.
Hulk was on a tear. Like you said, Gabriel was definitely on the lower side of that. I think he was not getting as much attention as Hulk was, but still 12th place. That's like, it's a good sign for Stake. I mean, I don't want to say it was like technical directives because you didn't feel that with everybody else in the field.
No.
So it's like, I can't.
Working.
Yeah, something about this weekend was
also
working for them.
When you looked at it, I mean, not to talk about Ferrari yet, but because Stake is a Ferrari power unit, the race pace was there for Charles. It was clearly there for Hulk and Bortoleto as well. So, with that power unit. But yeah, no, I mean, it hurt seeing him pass Hamilton, but like at the same time, I was like, okay, Hulk needed that.
If it was anybody else but Hulk,
yes,
it would definitely be more of like an it would sting a little bit more. But because it's Nico, you're like, okay, sure, all right. I mean, kind of opposite to what we just said about Williams. I can't see this being like a step in the right direction for Stake, just because they haven't done anything like up to this point. I think this was strictly just like, hey, we kind of just lucked out and we figured it out for a weekend. It's like a broken clock is right twice a day kind of mentality. Like,
I mean, they already have 16 points. How many points did they have last year by the end? 2? 1? Like
they had. I remember this. It was Zhou scored 4 points for them.
Like the last race or
like
something.
18 or 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're also tied with Aston Martin right now. That's how bad Aston Martin's been this season.
That's crazy. That is insane.
When they were literally fighting for podiums like 2 seasons ago. Aston Martin.
Right? Do you remember that? Like how the beginning of 2023 we were like, oh, Aston World Constructor Champions. Like
it's Alpine with 11 points right now. Aston Martin kicks Sauber with 16 points. Haas with 26.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's literally Aston Martin and Williams changed. Williams is with 54 points right now. Aston Martin 16. That's wild.
That's absurd.
But yeah, no, I was really, really happy for both of them in general. Did you see the photo they posted? Did Stake post it or one of them posted it? It was like, it was Nico and Gabrielle after the race, and like you can tell they're hugging, but they're like in their helmets still, but he's like holding his helmet and they're so close, and people are like, Happy Pride? Like,
Are they
they look like
they're
they're
gonna
kids.
kiss?
No, but I was really happy for them.
Happy Pride.
They um also on a good note, I mean, we've talked about him week after week. Isaac Hadjar. I mean, Liam wasn't that far away, but Liam was a terror on that track.
Liam decided to be a domestic terrorist around that.
Liam was
track.
like, I'm gonna play bumper cars on this track today. Like,
which, like, there were some moves where I was like, okay, like, not like it was kind of both people. The only move that I would say was probably what I think was a little bit more Liam than it was just like a racing incident.
the one with Baba?
It was with Ollie.
Ollie.
Yes, because I agree with, I think was it Alec Jakes, or it was one of Alec or DC were talking about it, and they were like, yeah, that was a little bit late of a lunge. I think he was expecting Ollie to kind of be like, oh crap, there's a car there, let me move out of the way. When Ollie, yeah, and I know DC said this, and he was like, at some point you have to stop looking in your rear views at the car behind you and look ahead to the apex and to the turn.
Yeah.
So he was like, definitely was more like Liam just went a little bit late there. And I mean, it was a fine contact. It was literally just like, I think it was a tire touch, and then that was it. You know, it was like, oh, all right, they're both good. They're both continuing.
And I think it was no further investigation for them.
Yeah. But yeah, because nothing happened with either of them. But yeah,
like, Liam was decided mid-race, but
Liam was a monster out there, and Isaac Hadjar has just been a monster for the rest of the season. Well,
I posted. We were talking about it yesterday on the way home too. I think it was during FP3, and it was Alex Jakes and Julian Palmer. Alex Jakes was like, Kimi Antonelli rookie. Julian Palmer was no Isaac Hadjar, and I was like, yeah. I'm Isaac Hadjar here because Isaac's shown a lot.
I'm in the Isaac Hadjar Rookie of the Year camp right now. I'm firmly in that camp.
That's not taking away from, like, Kimi this past weekend was not his fault. He had a power unit issue. That's a technical failure. That's not his fault. He didn't crash or whatever. He just ended up in the gravel. But yeah, Isaac has just, I mean, he scored points in every part of the triple header.
Right. I think Kimi has lived up to the hype. I'm still firmly in that camp as well. But yes, right now, if you want to, if we have a conversation of what rookie has had the biggest impact so far this year, definitely I think Isaac Hadjar. I think he has just been a consistent driver and is constantly getting points and is performing for the team and everything. And not to mention, like, I know this doesn't matter for like race standings and all that stuff, but people are starting to love his personality. People are starting to love him. So it's like VCARB right now has a great driver on their hands, a great marketable rookie driver on their hands right now. And that's, listen, as much as F1 is an action sport and a sport, it's also a business. So it's like having that. VCARB's got a good kid in their hands.
They've got gold right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, Yuki's not been doing awful, but like if Yuki was supposed suddenly to be like crashing every other week, like doing really bad, I would not want them to take Isaac up. Let him grow. Let him learn for a full season in VCARB. Don't rush him because he clearly does have the talent, so don't rush him.
Yeah, I think if you let Isaac mature, and I want to say, what's the word I'm trying to bake, you know, for an entire season at VCARB, you let him get every single track under his belt, every single race under his belt, a full season, and then maybe you start the conversation of, does he deserve to be somewhere else? But I think give him 2 seasons at VCARB, keep him where he's at right now, and then I think anybody like Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, I think would be lucky to have Isaac. He's a very good driver.
No, he's very good. And Yuki wasn't an awful to. They kind of just uses Yuki as a test dummy for tires and stuff because he started from the pit lane. So, but I mean, it's not that he finished that far away from Max after Max got a penalty.
No, he's right.
Do you want to? Do we talk about Well, we didn't talk about Alpine. I don't have much to say about Alpine. I mean, Gaz did a good race. He finished 8th. Colapinto,
Franco
I
finished
fear
where?
15th. I fear has not shown enough.
Yeah, I don't
He's been
know.
like nowhere. Like it's like he's not. I feel like last year, maybe he learned his lesson from last year. Because I feel like
Yeah,
when he
but
was in the Williams last year, he was pushing too hard during sessions and stuff, and that's the reason why he was crashing. But like I mean, he's nowhere close to Gasly on pace.
yeah, but I mean, all Flavio said when he started was like, I just don't want him to crash. And
True, but if there's, I mean, they posted on social media. If it's 5 races, Canada's the 5th race.
that's what? It's already been 5 races for Franco?
Yeah, yeah,
What the fuck? Oh, I've
yeah. What
lost the
was
point. What
before?
the
What was
hell?
before? What was before Imola?
Uh,
Miami.
Miami was before Imola. Yeah, but he didn't race in Miami. He raced Imola, Monaco,
All I
Spain.
know is
Montreal's going to be number 4.
okay.
Yeah, because he went in. Because we were talking about this where we said, oh, now you bring in Franco and you say he's got 5 races, and the first 2 races are Imola and then
And
Monaco, and then we were
Monaco.
like,
Yeah.
and you're
Okay.
kicking it off on a triple header. Like that's what we
True.
were. That's what we were saying. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. True. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't
I
listen to
don't.
me, people.
He hasn't done a lot. I do agree with that. I don't know, and this is kind of because of Flavio too. I don't know what is enough for Flavio. Like, what is
Yeah.
that going to be? Because we
Is
saw Jack, he's crashing, he's getting out of races, and he's not scoring points. And it's like, okay. So then Franco comes in, he's not crashing, he's not like
scoring
DNFing,
points,
but he's not scoring points. So
and
it's
he's
like,
miles off of his teammate.
right. So it's like, at what point is it like, yeah, you just surviving the races is enough, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It is interesting to watch and see what they would be able to do. But yes, that's really all I can say about Alpine. Go back, Max Verstappen. Where do we even start?
Where do we begin? Well, I'll say that I know where to begin. Max
That
got
is
absolutely shafted
Instagram.
by his team, by Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull screwed the pooch on that for him. And that was for Max to be told, hey, give the position back before hearing anything from the FIA.
And then that ended up being a no further investigation, so it
Right.
was literally pointless. It was
Right.
like Charles giving the position back last week. Like it didn't need to be, or in Imola, it didn't need to happen.
I feel like if Red Bull waited maybe 2 more minutes, and I know that's a lot to ask because I know it was laps 64, 66.
Yeah.
You know, if you waited a little bit longer, you would have probably seen the no further investigation, and then you would have known what to do. But
yeah,
Max is told to give the position back. He
and the
does
safety
give
car.
the position back, and then he slams into the side of George. And
it's like hard. It's like, well, yeah, I don't even know. Well, you didn't even have just George. You had him and Charles first.
Right. Which is like, okay, that was a good
clean.
battle down the straight. It's a clean battle. Yeah.
They literally maybe bumped tires. I love that someone posted people posted the FAA doc, obviously, for that one. And at the bottom, it says, like, both drivers, like, kind of took fault or whatever. And people are like, yeah, those two are never going to go against each other.
No,
we said last week, they are like the unspoken teammates on the grid, like Carlos and Lando. They're never going to go against each other.
But I think it's...
The hard tires is a strange choice.
Well, I really want to know what GP... When GP says at the end there, Max goes, why are we on the hard tires? And GP's like, it's the only tire we had available. Was it literally the only tire you had available?
Yeah, so Max posted on Instagram. Now, was it him or did his team be like, we're writing a statement for you?
Right.
So I woke up this side and said, we had an exciting strategy and good race in Barcelona until the safety car came out. Our tire choice to the end and some moves after the safety car restart fueled my frustration, leading to a move that was not right and shouldn't have happened. I always give everything out there for the team, and emotions can run high. You win some together, you lose some together. See you in Montreal. So I do think it was all he had left.
Okay. Which sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got 2 laps left, and you're coming out of a safety car restart when you're in 5th, and every single
Yeah.
person around you to 10th is on softs, and you're on a set of hard tires. I mean,
Okay, here we go. Tire sets before the race available. He had 1 new set of hard tires, 1 medium set, and 1 soft. He had 3 sets of soft used. So yeah, that's all he had.
he literally had 1
And
set of
he
each
did a
compound.
3-stop. Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Charles
literally
was
all
the
he had
only
was
one. Charles was the only one except for Ocon and Behrman that had a second set of new mediums, which is probably what he would have needed, Max. But yeah, no, the move was definitely not needed. I think he knows that. We know that.
Yes. It is not one of his brighter moments.
No.
And I think, I think you and I can both attest to yes, your emotions run a little high sometimes in those scenarios and the things that you care deeply about. But yes, the move was not needed. Like I said, I'm glad that he kind of was like, hey, I didn't mean to do it. I hope him and George cleared the air. I didn't see anything about that today.
I think they're on thin ice to begin with. They might be the 2 drivers that don't get along the most anyway, but I'm sure they'll talk about it. I don't know if they'll fully forgive each other, but I'm sure they'll clear the air. But yeah. I mean, whoa, it's not delayed over. Yeah, no, it was definitely a little uncalled for, but
yeah. But
I mean, and he did get more penalty points, so he's
got 1
he does
left.
have 11, yes, but I think did Terry post this or someone post like 3 expire at the end of June, or a good amount expire at the end of June. So
okay.
He literally has 2 races to get through to June 30th before he's probably back. He's in the clear.
Pretty good,
so,
yeah. All right.
He's in. But yeah, so he could. I mean, yes, obviously he could face a race ban. But yeah, I don't think he will. But
yeah.
Who do you talk about next?
I don't know. For Mercedes, I don't really know that there's much to talk about. Like I said, Kimi getting out, not his fault. Power unit issue.
Yeah, I mean,
fine.
I was expecting for them to be nowhere. George was not nowhere because it was 1.
Oh no,
I wasn't expecting him to be that high up, almost in a podium position. But yeah, no. I mean, I don't really have much to say. It was a clean weekend for them. If Kimi didn't DNF, would have been a little bit of a better weekend. But I can do Ferrari first. Ferrari.
Yeah.
This is for Charles. This is for Lewis because I do feel bad for Lewis. Charles, he was flat out honest in the media pen afterwards, saying, "I saw the people on social media complaining and questioning my strategy choice for sacrificing his qualifying to have an extra set of new mediums for the race."
Yeah.
And it paid off. I will
It paid off.
It paid off. It paid off perfectly. Like, you do you. I'm kind of happy he stuck up for himself and went with a strategy that he felt comfortable with, which I do think it wasn't like he qualified awful either. And it's like the Ferrari has the race pace, and Spain, obviously, yes, it's not the best place to overtake, but you can overtake in Spain. So
clearly, yeah.
And we know how he can be with getting a race start. I mean, we watched him win from 4th off the start in Monza. So, like, we know he can be a monster on the race start. So, it did pay off. But yeah, I mean, his safety car restart could not have been any more perfect. It was like him and Oscar had like I think the best.
They were ready,
restart. Yeah.
They were ready to go. It was like Charles was like reading Oscar's mind of like when he was gonna be going. But I mean, it definitely, bad for Max, good for Charles that Max is on the set of hard tires.
Yeah.
So Charles gets around him pretty
Whoa.
easily.
When Max almost loses it
That's what,
on the
yeah.
when Max like kisses the gravel and almost loses the complete rear. That would have been a bad crash if he lost it. Probably would
Oh,
have
yeah.
taken out Charles because he probably would have spun. But yeah, no, I was happy for Charles. And then Lewis, on the other hand, just, I mean, yes, he qualified ahead of Charles, but he just had no pace whatsoever from start to finish. But now it's coming out that they both may have had issues. Lewis might have had some floor damage for most of the weekend as well. So like,
From what?
I don't know, but I've read that. I can't remember where I read it from. But yeah, I mean, Lewis just, and then I do think, like you said, him getting passed by Hulkenberg at the end was just like I'm getting passed by a steak,
Yeah.
Kick
It's just
Sauber.
the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm in the Ferrari. This should not be happening. I mean, but yeah, but even like obviously Charles had a good start, and I texted you and I was like, Charles. It was very early on. You knew Charles had the pace, and even in the dirty air behind Hamilton, Charles had the pace. I mean,
yeah.
their dots on the live tracker were on top of each other. That's how close they were together. But Ferrari, I feel like Ferrari got it right strategy wise for Charles. So,
Something
it's just
needs to
something has to
change
click with Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something has got to change, and I don't know what that is, but
Mhm.
at least do something so that way when you go into Montreal, you can be like, hey, we tried the feat, we're attempting something,
Yeah.
like,
But like Ferrari in Montreal gives me PTSD from last year. Remember last year's when they sent Charles out on the full wets and the track wasn't fully declared wet?
yep,
Like, it just gives me. Right now, there's
I
no
do.
rain forecast at all, um, but yeah,
Still pretty early.
I know something needs to click with Lewis, and
Yeah.
hopefully quickly. But I mean, he even said he was in the media pen afterwards, being like, "That was the worst race of my life." Like he was flat out being like, "I hated every minute of that."
Yeah, I mean, he clearly struggled, and
Yeah.
not that we haven't been able to see it these past couple weeks, but we was really on display.
Yeah, very on display. McLaren, Oscar Piastri, the kid
What a
is
man.
good.
What a guy. I mean, come on. I think he's gonna be World Drivers Champ.
No, I do too.
Really don't want to ruin that, but I think he's gonna be World Drivers Champ.
He's so good at starts.
He's so good at starts. His tire management and just car management in general has just skyrocketed from when he first started.
I love his entire process. It's so easy to see how he goes through a weekend now. FP1, he'll be nowhere.
Yeah.
He will be nowhere. Not even the top 10 sometimes. But then from then on, yeah. I think he set like that Q2 lap or Q1 lap, his fastest one. I was like, oh, he's gonna be on pole. He was I mean that graphic I love posting that the Justin F1 car thing or something posts. He was so far ahead.
Yeah, 7/10.
They said it was the biggest margin of like pole to second. Yeah, no, he's good.
He's starting to get to the point now, and it's happening because he's winning more consistently, that when he's in the lead, you're like, all right, he's winning. You're just like, all right, yep, he's winning. And it's crazy. I know Netflix is going to eat up this Lando versus Oscar storyline, which I'm like not ready for personally because I know that I know that it's not really that. Like I know Lando wants to beat him, and I know Lando wants to win World Drivers Championship, but it's not like those two hate each other to the degree where like Netflix is going to do it up to. But overall, it's a McLaren 1-2.
They had a good weekend.
It's a great race for Oscar. You had a bad start by Lando off the line. I mean, Max was able to overtake him pretty easily, but then lap like 13 or something.
Oh,
Lando's right back on him.
Lando overtaking Max was like Max overtaking everyone in 2023.
Yeah,
Like, it was so easy.
It's just
Yeah.
easy, yeah. I liked the only really tense moment there was for McLaren was when it was Max versus Lando, and they're coming up on the back markers, specifically Ollie and Liam.
Oh, yes.
And Liam and Ollie are shown the blue flags, but then
Yeah.
Liam goes for an overtake, and then Lando and Max drive by, and Max, honestly, like pretty rightly so, was like,
what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, I thought that was pretty funny. That was the most tense moment for McLaren. I mean, overall, great weekend.
They had a pretty
constructors gap.
No, they had a pretty solid weekend. The double stack during the safety car worked out perfectly. They had a good pit stop strategy with the good getting them both in when they needed to get in. I was cracking up at Oscar's post-race radio because that's the most I've ever heard him talk in a post-race radio. I was someone even posted something like, he just did the whole debrief right now.
Yes.
Like, he's ready to go.
He did the full debrief. He wants to get out of there.
Like, let me go home.
When I saw both of them come in to the pit lane,
I held my breath.
I was freaking out a little bit because, like, normally when they double stack, it's like, okay, the one car is at the marks, stopped getting tires on when you see the other car come in. Oscar wasn't even parked yet.
No.
And Lando was at the speed limit line for the pit lane.
Yep.
And I was like, no way. And it's like, you don't even get the benefit of the, like, drive down the pit lane a little bit. It's like, they're right there. I mean, I was shocked. I mean, they pulled it off. There was a little bit of a delay. You know, Lando was parked behind Oscar a little bit, but it wasn't the worst thing. You did it during a safety car too, so it's like not the end of the world. You know.
Yeah, but they needed Oscar to go first, and he got out in front of Max.
Yes,
that was crucial. But yeah, no, they killed it. They were fourth fastest overall. I have pulled up the pit stop, like the top 10 times of this for Spain, and it was Bortoleto was the quickest one of a 2:13. That was the fastest pit stop. This race.
Okay.
No, when I tell you that if there's a pit stop championship, it's been all Ferrari and 2 Saubers. That's the only people that have won pit stop, the fastest pit stop.
All right.
Yeah. But
must be that Ferrari trained crew. But yeah, good weekend for McLaren. I'm happy. Great race overall for Spain. Like you said, kind of boring in the middle of it, and then right at the end picked up.
No, that safety car, I was on the edge of my seat because I was like, well, I felt like they did leave the safety car out maybe like 2 laps too long.
2 laps.
Even like Alex Tate was like, the car's gone, so is the crane. Like, why are they still with the safety car?
Lewis's radio cracked me up.
Yeah, he was like, they just love wasting laps or whatever.
Yeah.
But was it Imola or Monaco? They were like, they love leaving the safety car out there a little too long. Like, I think DC even was flat out like, why is it still here? But I was like, we're gonna get an all-out sprint for the last 5 laps of the race, and boy, did we get an all-out sprint.
And we did. We certainly did.
I just have to say, I do love Spain's the start-finish straight. That drive, what's it called? The drive down to turn 1 is so long, but so good. Like, it's just long enough where they could do some like, that's why I think Charles was so effective in getting a good start, like, because he had so much room to go. But that was good. And I was cracking up at like 4 of the cars going off on the runoff to get back on.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
But yes, that was Spain. We move on from one chaotic race to another fun race, aka Detroit, the Detroit Grand Prix on the streets of Detroit. And I just want to say, I never want to hear the Monaco corners are small, because some of those corners in Detroit are tiny. And narrow.
There's before we get into it, there's a overtake. Is it not an overtake? It's a corner. It's Kyle Kirkwood and Alex Palou, too wide through a corner, and I literally was oh, this is where Alex Palou gets knocked out.
Yeah.
Because I was just assuming, I was like, there's no way they make it through this corner together, and they did.
They did.
But
yes, before we get started, I will give Owen his Pints Pit Stop.
Oh boy.
Now, no, if you watched the 30-minute race on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Everything is from that. So it was like different events. No, but like major events that happened. So you should. It wasn't anything like they glossed over in that. So, are you ready?
Sure
Okay.
thing.
If you don't get this first one right, who held the lead out of turn 1?
Colton Herta.
When was the first full course caution? What lap?
4.
How did Nolan spin into the barrier?
Scott McLaughlin hit him.
Why did Malukas get a drive-through penalty?
He hit Alex Palou.
What caused Foster's crash into Felix Rosenqvist?
Failed suspension.
2476. You got the first 2 wrong. The last 3 you got
Yeah.
right.
Okay. That's fine. I can go 3. I can go 3 for 2. I can or
3 for
5.
2 for 5.
3 for 5. 3 for 5. Math.
Say 3 for 5. 1 word. But yes. Okay. So who held the lead out of turn 1? It was not Colton Herta. It's Christian Lundgaard. He had that insane start.
Yes, he went in on. Yep, he went on the inside. That's
he
right.
He didn't hold it for long. I think by turn 2 he didn't have it, but turn 1
Yeah.
he had the lead. When was their first full course caution? It's lap 14. What for? Who was it for? I can't remember who it was for.
I can't remember
who it was for.
I can't remember either.
It's not
for Nolan.
It's not
for
Nolan
Siegel.
Illot.
No.
Not for Alex Palou. Not for Louis Foster and Felix Rosenqvist. But that crash was scary.
Yeah,
whatever.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But yes, that was. Oh, right. So yes, and then you got the last 3 correct. How did Nolan spin into the barrier? He was clipped by Scotty Mack. Why did Malukas get a drive-through penalty? It was for contact with Palou. And then what caused Foster's crash? You got it correct. Suspension failure. Yes, 3.
What was my gross time?
2476.
2476. Okay. Question's right.
That was better
3.
than last week.
Yeah, it was.
Or the really slow week. What was that, Imola?
Yeah. All right, so I ended with a 23.76. My fastest time remains a 21.5. My average time has been brought down to 27.98.
There you go.
Which is, we're getting there. We're getting there.
There you go. We'll start off with this. This broke literally right before we started recording, not even maybe an hour before. So obviously the podium ended up being Kyle Kirkwood, Santino Ferrucci, Colton Herta. It came out literally 2 hours ago that the number 14, which is Santino Ferrucci, entry from AJ Foyt Racing at Sunday's Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix was found to be under the required tolerance of the driver's ballistic weight following the event. The entry will forfeit 25 championship points and entrant points, plus the loss of its bonus point for leading a lap. The team was also fined $25,000. So he doesn't lose the podium. Doesn't lose like a spot. He wasn't like disqualified and dropped down. He just forfeited the points, which
It's an empty podium now.
It was his first podium, but like no points. Like, is it your first podium? Like, what do you call that?
Yeah, it's an empty podium now. It's like, sure, I stood up there and I have a trophy from it and everything, but I didn't reap any benefits from it other than getting this trophy.
Yeah.
I'm not up in the standings. I didn't get, all this stuff.
I do think it's kind of hilarious that a Chevy engine just like never wins the GP it's named after.
It's got to be a curse.
It's got to be a curse. Indy posted, I just had brought it up, it's the Lucky 7. It's 7 straight Honda victories to open up the 2025 season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because Kirkwood and Palou, the only 2 that have won are Honda engines. Yeah.
Honda must love that.
Yeah, they definitely love that. Come on.
That's crazy.
But yes. Wait, it's not funny, but it was like when you're watching the race, especially Palou. So obviously they're showing everyone from the front, like coming down that little straight, and next thing you know, you just see Palou in the back go right into the back.
Oh yes.
Like, but yeah, no, that was. But yes, a lot have happened. We went from having no cautions for the longest time to having so many cautions. We had a red flag.
5 or 6 in this race. I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a question. Was how many cautions did we have?
Oh no, yeah.
I was counting them as I was watching the highlights.
Oh, I think the first caution was for DeFrancesco.
Yes, his tire popped off.
Yeah, which
Yes.
they flat out said, I think Townsend Bell said this was just a weekend of wheel and nut issues or whatever,
Yes.
not working because a lot of random tire things, like
A lot
it
of
was
people had
popping
those
off.
issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with Alex Palou sucks, just
Yeah,
because
his perfect streak.
you had the weekend that you did at Indy, and you had this perfect streak going.
Well, they flat out. James Hinchcliffe was like, "If that's the Indy 500 curse."
That is. He said that on the highlights too, and I like thought about it, and I was like, that's just like that to me just sums up like sports so well.
Yeah.
Is
No,
like
legit.
you literally like have this generational run to start the season, and then you win your first Indy 500. You have the time of your life doing it, and then the very next race is you're out. You're knocked out by another person. No fault.
Yeah,
of David
not
Malukas.
your own fault.
Yeah, no fault of David Malukas, but like he caused it. And then you're just completely out of the race in its entirety, and your perfect run is done. And it's like,
Yeah.
damn. Like,
well, they were saying earlier in the week I had Friday's practice on, and they were flat out saying that like Alex Palou, Alex Palou could have missed this race. He could miss Iowa and come back like whenever the next race after Iowa is, and like
still
win this season. Yeah. Like, so it's not like it hurt him in any.
No.
I mean, they posted the points. Who posted the?
I mean, yeah.
Like,
if you're gonna have a race where this happens, you might as well make it after you've had this, like I said, generational run of just points grabs to start off the season and race wins to start off the season. So it's like, sure. Is it annoying? I'm sure Alex is pissed. Like, no race car driver wants that to happen. But
oh yeah,
yes, when you get out of the emotion of it and look at it, you're like, all right, we're kind of chilling.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Oh, where did it just go? Okay, never mind. Because it's whoever's in second is only is nowhere close to Alex Palou in terms of points. So it's like, but I'm sure Kyle Kirkwood has to be in the top 3 at this. I mean, I brought up that meme last week, but they changed it and added a second Kyle Kirkwood to the Employee of the Month. It's from SpongeBob. It's just as bad as the 2 of them are the only ones that are winning.
I mean, he had a great race, Kyle.
Kyle Kirkwood. Oh my God, his overtake at the beginning.
Yes. Oh, I'm so happy you brought this up.
So beautiful. It was so beautiful. On the inside, like he didn't hold back at all.
No, you could tell like he wanted to win. And I was listening to James Hinchcliffe afterwards, and he was saying like Kyle was so pissed off with third, after quali, because he was like, I can feel it in the car that the car was going to win this weekend, and to get third, it was a little upsetting. And it's like, well, now you just had the chance to drive that car like you're talking about it, and you did,
and it worked.
Like,
Which I don't know if you saw. Did you see how his weekend started during Friday's practice with Will Power?
No.
Oh my God, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So practice Friday is going on. It's happening. Obviously, we just said Detroit is so small. Those shoes are so tiny, and it's practice, so everyone's doing different run plans. Will Power comes from behind Kyle Kirkwood. Basically, this is Kyle Kirkwood. This is Will Power. Basically, like, puts his front nose underneath Kyle Kirkwood. Apparently damaged the floor, damaged the gearbox. Was lifting him, and literally they were like, listen to Will Power. He is still on the throttle. He was driving Kyle Kirkwood like this. I think Kyle ended up missing almost the entire first Friday practice.
Holy crap.
Of it, because they were like, they had to fix everything, and then they're like, how is this not a penalty? Because he was not letting up, and like
he wasn't.
He easily could have driven Kyle Kirkwood into the barrier and like had major damage. But yeah, that's how the weekend started for Kyle Kirkwood. Yeah. It was so strange. You even heard like they interviewed Kyle Kirkwood after, and he goes, I don't know what was happening. Next thing you know, I was just not driving myself because he
Yeah,
was
he's
pushing
not
me.
in control of his
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a great race from him. Even with the broken wing at the, towards the end of the race, is still driving out of his mind. And he's
Yeah.
like, he did say in the post-race interview, he goes, we felt it. Like, he's like, I could feel the
Yeah,
difference
so it
in the
didn't really
car with
hurt.
it. But he was like, wasn't really hurting us. So he was like, we were fine. And I was like, yeah, sure. Like,
Well, it was a good weekend for Andretti to begin with because Colton was P3. So
first and third, yeah.
yeah, Colton Herta's dad was probably super happy. His dad works with Kyle Kirkwood, and his son's on the podium. So it was a good weekend
Yeah,
for
really.
Herta.
That's
No,
got to be
great
huge
weekend.
for Herta too, just because this season has not been the best
Yeah.
start for
Well, his
him.
first pit stop was so quick. That was good for his first pit stop.
Yeah,
The way he came in quickly. Even I think James Hinchcliffe was like, that is what Colton
Colton
Herta
Herta
needed.
needed. Yeah,
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other
I
moments.
want to jump back to Alex Blow and David Malukas. I did like David's post on
Yeah,
Instagram
so he
after he
took
was done.
full.
Yeah, like he posted like the thumbs up, and he was like, "So sorry, like I screwed up."
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always nice when you see that because it's like, all right, they all, everybody respects each
Yes.
other, and everybody's like, that's on me. I shouldn't have done that. I mean, it sucks for David Malukas because you did it to who you did it to. So it's
Yeah,
like,
of all people.
right. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure David afterwards was like, damn it. Like, why did I have to do, why, with the one person that had to happen with, was it going to be him? Like, but
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
the Will Foster crash.
No, not Will Foster, Louis Foster.
Louis Foster. I don't know who Will Foster is.
I don't know who Will Foster is. I don't know who David Pillow is, so it's all good.
Yeah, we're making up drivers now. The Louis Foster crash
Was scary.
was scary because it was like in the highlights you just kind of see it, like the aftermath of it. Like you see Rosenquist in the wall, and then they cut to
And
Louis'
he's all
car
the way
in
down
the
the runoff,
runoff.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like that's just like that was freaky. Just how like the suspension just snapped, and like that
did
was
they
it.
show you it? Yeah, that is because then they show it at full, like the full replay, full speed, and literally it happens. And Townsend Bell goes, "Oh, his suspension just completely
You
failed."
see the wheel go from this to like that,
and
and
then
you're
he
like,
just lost
oh,
it. He did post saying that was maybe the scariest crash he's had in his career, but he was
yeah.
okay. But I mean, even at Felix Rosenquist, who was in the car being like, my leg is hurting, and I think they took him off on a stretcher, but he was fine. He was cleared and stuff. He was fine post race. But yeah, that was I mean, we got a full red at that moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a scary crash. But I mean, that runoff area is nice with how long it is. Because even
that's the fact that they were even saying like the fact that he made it all the way down the
that's what they're like.
runoff
The
area is
speed
kind of
at which he
crazy.
had to have been going at for him to
Yeah.
get down there, and then but once you see it, you're like, okay, yeah, now I know why he made
Makes
it
sense.
all the way down
Yeah.
there. He
Now I
was
know why he
going
didn't lose an ounce of
crazy.
speed going into
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah, crazy crash, but I like glad that Louis okay, glad that Felix is
Yeah.
okay. That they're all good and everything. But yeah, I mean that's a scary crash.
Yeah, that's a very, very scary crash. And then you obviously had Nolan Siegel, which that wasn't fully his fault either.
No, he got jackknifed
Clipped.
by Scott McLaughlin. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
which
it's
I'll just what?
which he got a drive-through penalty for that, right, Scotty
Scotty
Mac?
Mac, yeah. And
Yeah, I mean,
he took full responsibility for it, and like he said, he misjudged it. It wasn't like he obviously wasn't purposely trying to
right.
take
He's not
Nolan Siegel out
intentional.
of the race.
Yeah,
But you should see. I'll just have to send it to you because then our McLaren's team principal Tony Kanaan reposted Scotty Mac's tweet. First of all, I don't think it's a team principal. You should be doing this anyway. So it's like, dude, I know you have been an IndyCar driver, like you are friends with these guys, but you're a team principal. This is not what you should be doing. So yeah, Scotty Mac says misjudge this one. Like good. Well, Scotty Mac is Scotty Mac, so he did kind of like egg him on. Says good to see McLaren team principals are still in the hunt for beef. And And then he tags his sponsor. It says Good Ranch has loads for it. Use code #BreakLater for 0% off. That's Scotty Max.
That's
So
good.
then
Yeah.
TK reposts it and says, misjudged last week, misjudged this week. At least you get a weekend off to square that away. I came looking for your team principal to have a chat, but I couldn't find him. Oh, wait. That's what Tony Kanaan reposted. And Scotty Mac then reposted it and said, our team principals aren't usually on Twitter during the race, but you've got my phone number, mate. Like, what?
Damn.
Even fans under Tony Kanaan's repost were like, what are you doing? You're a team principal, not... Like, why are you entertaining...
Yeah, that's kind of that's
Like,
yes. If
did
he was another driver, I would be like,
Oh,
sure,
absolutely.
driver versus driver beef. Yeah, but you're a team principal. Like, that's a funny,
Weird.
like, bold thing to post when you're.
I want to be like, was he bored this weekend because Zach Brown was there? So, like, did he not have as many duties as he usually has?
Yeah,
Like,
was he not like in charge?
but yeah,
Like,
it was very strange to see a team principal, especially when he says misjudged this week, misjudged last week.
last week.
After how depressed Scotty
Ugh.
Mac was after his crash in the 500, like, you don't know.
That's brutal. Yeah, especially like going then the flip side of that, where we're saying like, oh, we know you used to be a racer. Like, dude, you used to be a racer. You know how heartbreaking that is. Like,
Well, and like, there was a little bit drama last week with Kyle Larson and his onboard. Did you see the onboard of when Scotty Mac crashed in the 500? It looks like Kyle Larson like gets annoyed and is kind of like putting his hand up, like, "What are you doing?" Meanwhile, Scotty Mac is not even out of the car yet, but like they cleared the air. But Kyle Larson also technically drives for Aaron McLaren during the 500, so it's like,
oh
what does?
boy.
So that's why I feel like Scotty Mac was like McLaren's still looking for beef because he just went through with Kyle Larson literally 2 days before.
What the hell?
And now, yeah. But it did suck for Nolan Siegel. I feel like he needs a good weekend.
Yeah, it just sucks in general for a young driver too. Like just having that happen. But yeah,
I love how I don't think Pato had the greatest time. Thought I saw quotes from him post race, like he was complaining.
He honestly, they never talked about him during the highlights, like once.
No.
But
he was the biggest mover. He went P18 to P7, so.
So you got points and you're.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was. Oh, he finished P8. Or yeah, no, he finished P7. Christian finished P8.
Oh.
So.
You're fine, Pato.
Yeah, you're fine, Pato. But yeah, no. Then they did post that Christian Lundgaard's had 6 top 10 finishes this season.
Good.
St. Petersburg, Thermal, Long Beach, Barber, Indy 500, Detroit. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what other moments I have it up. I mean, yeah, it was just a perfect weekend for Kyle Kirkwood, so.
Yeah, the stars aligned for Kyle Kirkwood. I'm glad you kind of said this because it may have reminded me of it. I do agree with, I think it was Will Buxton said it at the end. He was like, he didn't win this race just because Alex Palou crashed out. I do think that helped, obviously. But I thought Kyle Kirkwood won this on his own volition. Like I said, he had great overtakes. He had great races. And he drove that car like he knew he was going to finish in first place. And it worked for him. So,
and like
great weekend for Kyle.
Well, because by the end, it was Will Power was coming up close. And like they were running out of their push to pass. I mean, literally, Will Buxton was like 5, 4.
Counting it down.
But like Kyle Kirkwood, off the last restart after the caution, he was like 2 seconds ahead by the end of the first straight.
Yeah, he got away fast.
Yeah, so I do feel like if Alex Palou stayed in the entire time and didn't crash out, I feel like he would have been able to finish. Still, I do think Kyle Kirkwood still would have been able to win. Yes, I do think Alex Palou would have made his way up there. Maybe it would have been more of a close finish, but I do think Kyle Kirkwood would have still won the race. So, but yeah, no. Detroit was a good one. And their next race is on an oval, so that's gonna be good.
Oh yes, gonna be very
at
good.
Nighttime. Someone did ask a question. Hold on, I think it was Chris. 1 second.
Yes, is it the Kyle Kirkwood question?
Yeah, is there anybody other than Kirkwood that can stop Alex Palou domination?
I'm gonna go. Here's my thing. There might be a little bit of bias in this answer. I'm gonna say Yes, I think if it's anybody, it's going to be Christian Lundgaard. I think is
Yeah.
going to be the person who wins. However, again, Kyle Kirkwood won this race off of his own volition and everything. I
Yeah.
think he was majorly helped by Alex Palou DNFing. So I don't think it's going to be like we're not going to, I don't know. I'm going to stop rambling because I'm losing my train of thought too. If anybody, it's going to be Christian Lundgaard, and it might have to be a race kind of like this one with Kyle. Like Alex Palou DNFs or something, or Alex Palou just has a random, like, really crappy qualifying, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. No, but I can see like, especially with there's more ovals coming up. It's like the Penske's are just like weirdly strong on the ovals, so like I can see them
true.
giving him a run for his money. But like again, we said this last week, Alex Palou won the hardest oval. He got that weight off his shoulders, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I can conquer the oval.
He's
So
going into it
yeah,
a lot more confident this time around.
yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I do think there are other people that can stop. It's not all Kyle Kirkwood's job.
No.
He's probably like, anyone else want to help me out? But I'm sure he's not complaining. But yes, I feel like that is all we have for today. Do you have anything else you want to add, or?
I got nothing.
No? I can close this out. Thank you so much for joining us for episode 111 of Underground Circuit. We'll be back next week. We'll figure out something to talk about. Maybe we can talk about the arcade. And then we're going to preview Canada, because obviously we have some predictions for Canada and Iowa for IndyCar.
Yep.
But yes, we will see you all next week. As always, please go give us a follow on Instagram and Threads at Underground Circuit _, over on Twitter or X at UG Circuit Pod, TikTok Underground _Circuit. We've had a lot of fun over on TikTok recently. We have fun content obviously coming up. We were able to go to the grand opening for the arcade last week. We have a fun event this week. So yes, please give us a follow, like, comment, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. But yes, enjoy this race-free weekend. I feel like we all need a break. I have a lot of other stuff I need to get done without a race. But yes, thank you so much, and we will see you all next week, people.